on Sunday at a meeting of Southeast Asian nations in Malaysia before flying to Japan to meet its new Prime Minister, Senai Takagi, early next week. President Trump has also said that he would like to meet North Korean leader Kim Jong-un during the trip. The most important stop on his visit will come at the end of the month, when he is expected to meet Chinese leader Xi Jinping at the APEC summit in South Korea. During this much-anticipated meeting, President Trump's deal-making capabilities are to be tested. Trump has recently offered to lower tariffs on Chinese exports to the United States, but insisted that Beijing also must make concessions, including resuming purchases of US soybeans, curbing the flow of ingredients used to make the opioid fentanyl, and lifting restrictions on the export to the US of rare earth minerals. The leaders are also expected to discuss Taiwan amid concerns of a Chinese invasion. Taiwan relies heavily on the United States for defense, and President Trump might also raise the issue of Chinese vessels continuously entering Taiwanese waters. US President is also to raise the issue of Jimmy Lai during talks with President Xi Jinping. Currently, a meeting is underway in Kuala Lumpur, where the US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, US Trade Representative Jamieson Greer, and Chinese Vice Premier He Lifeng are discussing the issues and agreements to be addressed and signed during the leaders' meeting. An interim agreement is expected to be signed, which might include relief on tariffs or China committing to buy soybeans and Boeing airplanes. Earlier in 2020, Beijing re-engaged on similar promises in a deal with Trump. Before leaving, President Trump made a departing statement. Let's listen in to what he said.
Well, I'll be talking about Taiwan. Won't be going there, but I'll be talking about it. Won't be too far away. A lot of respect for Taiwan, and it's on my list. I'm going to ask. Look, they're big enemies, so we'll see what happens. You know, Jimmy Lai, and President Xi are big enemies, but it's been a long time, and it'll be on my list.
We move on to further diplomatic developments, where the European Union and Chinese officials are set to meet in Brussels next week in a bid to ease tensions amid growing concerns over China's expanded controls on rare earth exports that could severely impact key EU manufacturing sectors, including the automotive industry. European Trade Commissioner Marcos Šefčovič and Chinese Commerce Minister Wang Mentao agreed during a 2-hour video conference on Tuesday that Brussels will host Chinese officials for trade talks. The European Commission has said that there will be a set of in-person and virtual meetings next week under the Expert Control Dialogue. During their call this week, Šefčovič and Wang have discussed about several sources of growing trade tensions, including China's rare earth export curbs, EU tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles, and the Netherlands' seizure of China-owned chipmaker Nexperia. The 17 rare earth elements, out of which 12 of them faces export restrictions, are crucial for manufacturing products such as electric vehicles, aircraft engines, and military radars. China produces around 90% of the world's processed rare earths and rare earth magnets. Okay, we are now joined by Dr. Satoru Nagao. He's a fellow at the Hudson Institute and he joins us live from Tokyo. And we're also joined by Andrew K.P. Leung. He's an independent Chinese strategist and he joins us live from Hong Kong. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us here on the program. A pleasure to have you. A lot to unpack there. Let's first of all start with these developments coming out of Kuala Lumpur. These trade talks are well and truly underway. What is most likely to be being discussed top of the agenda, and how likely is it that we are likely to see a breakthrough today, Dr. Nagao?
In this case, of course, rare earth-related issue could be the top priority because 30% of the parts for the U.S. weapons for the U.S. military use made in China parts. So that's why without the cooperation with China, U.S. cannot prepare enough weapon to deal with China. And this is ironical situation, but that is a reality. That's why providing rare earth is a very important part. Just now, even if the U.S. wants to decouple with China in the long run, but just now it is impossible to do that. So in this case, that was revealed in April this year when China tried to restrict exporting rare earths to the other countries, including the United States in this case. And that was clearly revealed to the US government, and the US want to postpone the high tariff against China as a ceasefire of the trade war. And the deadline is coming to the November 1st. So in October, just before the November, China's severe restrictions is imposed. So this was more severe than the April's one. So that's why the U.S. was very frustrated and declared the U.S. will impose 100% of tariff more to China. So it will be the 130% in total. That will come the November 1st. But at the same time, before that deadline, the November 1st, two leaders should meet to deal with this, and the U.S. side want to postpone this battle because U.S. Currently U.S. needs some certain certain part of the supply to their military, to the economy. So it is impossible to decouple just now. This decoupling could be the long-term issue.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Nagao. I want to move to Andrew next. There has been deals, Andrew, that have been spoken about, including resuming the purchases of US soybeans and also curbing the ingredients used to make the opioid fentanyl. What more can you tell us about the possible deals in regards to that?
Of course, soybeans is a very sore point as far as President Trump is concerned, because the Trump's main supporters, the Republican Party's main supporters, are in those states in the United States, which are Americans' major soybeans and producers, and also other agricultural products. And China has been the largest buyer of vast quantities of these products. But because of the trade war, China has been pivoting towards other countries because soybeans is not really irreplaceable, you see. So China has been buying almost all of its soybeans from Brazil, from Russia, and that, of course, hurts President Trump's prospects in the midterm elections coming up. Now, as far as the rare earths are concerned, because there are other countries producing rare earths, for example, the United States is focusing on Australia, but it's not so much the supply of rare earths, it's the processes. As the processes are highly complicated, highly polluting, and nobody wanted them, and a push on to China decades ago, and China's now mastered the intricacies and the technology producing some of these critical elements. In fact, according to U.S. generals, it would account for even 78% of China's top military hardware, including F-35 fighters. So I think that really China has now got the stranglehold on America's Achilles heel. Now, as to what's going forward, I don't think both sides want a war. Both sides are being hurt by each other's countermeasures. So I think that Trump wants to wrap up all his intent wins. So you're talking about China, you're talking about North Korea, you're talking about even nuclear weapons, fentanyl, all wrap up in this visit.
Yes.
And I think that on the foreign side, Beijing wants to some degree of goodwill as well. So, well, let's see. I mean, it's still a lot of the stuff depends on the details.
Yes, thank you very much, gentlemen. Do